black and brown people. Okay, F them. They are committing fraud. They are harming us. They are stealing from other black and brown people who follow the law. Let's be so for real. These folks cannot and should not hide behind their race, their ethnicity, where they're from to commit fraud against the American people. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee. We also need to leave fraudulent immigrants in 2025. You as an American, you're struggling to pay your bills. You're struggling to provide for your family. You're struggling to do all of these different things. But for some effing reason, it's okay for folks to come into your country, disrespect you, every step of the way, disrespect you, and then on top of that, steal. And you're not allowed to say anything about it. And if you do, you're a racist, you're a xenophobe. That's what they say to the black folks who feel this way. Well, you're xenophobic because you don't want foreigners. We already got enough people that are homegrown, that are fraudulent. The last thing we need to do is invite other people from other countries to be fraudulent too. Keep your fraud in your country. This is Nick Shirley. I investigated Minnesota's billion-dollar fraud scandal. This is something that we need to leave in 2025. Allowing foreigners to come into our country, defraud us, and then make it seem like we're the bad guy for calling out the fraud.
How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these childcare centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking, and then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali-owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
It is not racist to see a problem with this. It is not racist to call this out. If there are any white liberals who feel guilty, who have an issue with Nick Shirley and his investigation, and then this gentleman right here and his investigation into the fraud in Somalia, if you are living paycheck to paycheck, you can barely afford eggs, you can barely afford to take your family on vacation, you're paying your taxes, you're living your life in accordance to the law, you're doing everything you're supposed to do. But now you're putting on the cape for people to get billions of dollars while you struggle because you're dealing with this white guilt that you shouldn't even have. You are struggling, fighting for your life to make it by. And these people can come over here and be fraudulent as hell, steal from tax-paying Americans, steal from us. And then you're putting on the cape for them while you can't afford your damn groceries. They're living high off the hog. They have enough money to pay for their groceries and then also send money back home. They can buy groceries. They're not worried about the economy. They're doing good. If I were to get however many millions of dollars for doing nothing, I'd be good too. So would you. But that's not the reality for you and I. You and I have to work. And then we have to pay taxes on the money that we take in to fund their fraud. It's not about being racist against Somalians. It's about not allowing criminals to run rampant within our country, get away with things that you would never be able to get away with. You would never be able to get away with this level of fraud. You are arguing in favor of people who are spitting in your face and running your pockets. You're an easy lick to them. So while you're struggling to get your groceries, you're struggling, and then you're also finding time to fight for their rights to steal from us, fight for their right to be here so they can steal from us, steal from you in particular. While you're doing all that and struggling to pay your bills, understand they don't give a good goddamn about you. That's why they're stealing from you. But you're putting on the cape for them.
So right here we have all this paperwork. And how are you getting all this information about the fraud?
A lot of it is through my own research. And then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years. And so the data that I'm getting is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by people at the state Capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a childcare not far from here in Minneapolis that has two childcares listed at the same address. And together, they're licensed supposedly for 120 children. I have never seen a single child there ever, and I've been by that place at least 100 times.
Think about how insane this white guilt has to be for you to think, well, you shouldn't be investigating them, even though the fraud is as clear as day. Well, you're just attacking them because they're Somalian. Like, the fraud is clear as day. You have 0 children at this facility, but you're saying there's over 100 and you're getting millions of dollars. And we just shouldn't look into that. We shouldn't investigate into it because they're Somalian and it's racist to investigate Somalians. A crime is a crime is a crime is a crime. You know, there was a stream a while back where Hassan Piker had advocated for, I think it was like a senator. I think it was like a senator or maybe a House rep. I'm not sure. But he had advocated for them to be, you know, he got a little mini ban from Twitch, but the reason why was because he had been a part of something that was like very fraudulent as well. He was up in arms about the way that this white man had defrauded the U.S. government, or at least was alleged to have defrauded the U.S. government. I'm not fully abreast to that entire situation, but what I will say is if you're upset about that fraud, you should be upset about this fraud as well, because fraud is fraud is fraud. I don't care if a white person is committing it or a black person or an Asian person or a Latino person. I don't care. If you are defrauding us, it is a problem. That's called keeping that same energy. But folks don't want to do that. Folks don't want to keep that same energy. They want to have well, let's attack the white folks when they do it. But when the Somalians or anybody that's not white does it, then we need to just turn a blind eye to it. I'm here to tell you, hail to the no. And it is not racist to investigate this community where you have all of this fraud to the tune of billions of dollars. It is not racist to investigate that and to want justice. Thank you so much, Otis. Thank you so much for the $5 super. You said you make an extra $600. They want to know everything, but millions go unaccounted for, and we shouldn't care. Fuck out of here. Exactly. There were more laws that were put in place about if you were making money off of like PayPal and Cashapp and different things like that. If you were paying for services via those apps, they wanted to make sure that they were getting their cut of the pie with that, and you can get in trouble if you're not, you know, making sure that you tell them all of the money you've made off of Cashapp. They want to investigate with a fine-tooth comb that. But like you said, it's not even millions, it's billions at this point, go unaccounted for, and we're not supposed to care because it's at the hands of black and brown people. Get out of here. I don't care. You're stealing. You're stealing. Think about what statement that actually makes. The statement that is made with all of this is that black and brown people steal. That is in their nature. So if you are going against their nature and saying that it's bad because it's in their nature, then that makes you a racist. So that basically says that black and brown people are just thieves and the rest of the world has to just deal with that. You know how like backwards that is? You're the ones painting us all as thieves in the first goddamn place if you're saying we shouldn't investigate it because, well, that's racist. That's making the relationship between black and brown folks with stealing, with being fraudulent.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never at any of them. They're all fraught with violations. And even though they have these violations, they're still in operation and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money? And where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money, so it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing is you have daycare, so you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation, and a lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
You're seeing the same names on the paperwork and it's not clicking, then maybe you should investigate this and look into it further. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to this white guilt. Stop feeling guilty for things that you didn't do and now allowing for crime to run rampant in your area because you don't want to be mean to the black and brown people. F them black and brown people. Okay, F them. They are committing fraud. They are harming us. They are stealing from other black and brown people who follow the law. Let's be so for real. These folks cannot and should not hide behind their race, their ethnicity, where they're from to commit fraud against the American people. This is a huge problem and it should be across the board. It shouldn't matter if you are Republican, Democrat, moderate, whatever the hell. We should all have an issue with this type of fraud.
The government knows they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there just writing the checks. What has happened is that the Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe. And they're afraid of their own shadow.
This is the white guilt that I was talking about. The fact that you are conflating being hard on crime with also being racist is racism itself, because that creates that relationship between black and brown people being criminals. And if you attack the criminals, you're attacking black and brown people. That is extremely racist in my opinion. I'm not offended if you arrest criminal black folks because I'm not a criminal. I'm black. I'm not a criminal. When you arrest the Somalis that are committing fraud, understand you are not doing anything negative to the Somalis that follow the law, that respect the law. The fact that you have so many white enablers is a problem, because all of this would not be allowed to happen if that white guilt was not present in the first place. If white folks were not feeling guilty for things that they didn't do and were then enabling criminals to be criminals and to defraud the country and to harm others, we would have a lot more law and order and a lot more common sense in the country. The guilty white liberal is the root of the problem, because without them, this problem could be fixed. The one running interference for these black and brown criminals are the guilty white liberal mindset Karens. We will be able to go in, clean up neighborhoods, make them safer for black and brown people who follow the law. Since y'all care so much about the black and brown folks, we will be able to go in, clean those areas up, reclaim the funds that are being stolen from us, and redistribute that to the American people, to black and brown folks who actually follow the law, to white folks who follow the law, to American people. But we can't get any of that done because you have the guilty white liberals standing in the way and enabling this type of behavior and chastising those who want to fix the problem. That is why white guilt is the biggest issue I think that America is facing right now, because it creates the environment for the rest of the issues to be a problem.
It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
up?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. Arrest this mofo, deport his ass, seize any assets that he has, and let's be so for real. Somalia should have to pay us back our money. Either you pay us back, we can get you on a payment plan, okay? We can get you on a payment plan, but you need to take back all your citizens, and you need to pay us our effing money. Or smithereens. Which would you prefer?
Oh,
Yeah.
you worked here. Okay, well then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
You don't know my son.
No! He's a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain you everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of your curry.
Scared of you because of your color. You're scared because you're a criminal and you're getting exposed for being a criminal. Has nothing to do with white versus black. It has everything to do with you're a criminal. He's not. At least we don't know. Okay, I haven't seen anything about Nick Shirley doing any illegal activity. Maybe he is. I don't know. But as far as I know, he is law-abiding. You're afraid because you don't want to get in trouble for your criminal activity, or you're aiding and abetting, or you being accomplice, or whatever the case may be. That's the reason why you're afraid. Has nothing to do with his color. He's not doing anything to you. He's not even an ICE agent. He didn't even have ICE agents with him. So let's be so for real here. You're not afraid. If you're afraid, you wouldn't be sitting here standing right across from him. When I'm afraid of something, I run away. That's what I do when I'm afraid. You're not afraid. You're just using that as a shield. Just like I said, these folks use white guilt. They use racism as a shield for their nonsense. So while you have a fraudulent business here, oh, I'm scared because he's white. He's white and I'm black. Oh, now you're black. I'm black. He's white. I'm afraid. You couldn't have been that afraid if you're stealing from the government. You couldn't be that afraid. You don't seem afraid to me. This isn't what afraid looks like. This is what I'm going to throw that out there so that you back off as Mr. Whitey. Hey, look, you're about to get called a racist. You might want to slow this down. Nick, you might want to slow this down, Nick. I might call you a racist. You keep playing. You keep testing me, Nick. I'm going to call you a racist. That's literally all this is. Let's be so for real here.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
But
No.
you said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist.
You see how close and chummy she was? You were all up on this man. You were literally all up in this man Kool-Aid. You're afraid of him? You mean to tell me you're afraid? I think we are pretending like we don't know what words mean. Fear looks a certain way. Fear has different types of behaviors, right? You know, people, when they have fear, they either fight. Okay, she's not fighting him out of fear. She's not running out of fear. She's not freezing out of fear. Bitch, you're not afraid. You're using that as a dog whistle to him. Hey, I'm going to call you a racist if you keep doing this. I'm going to wield out consequences for you questioning me as a non-white person. I'm going to call you racist if you keep doing this. Thank you so much, Shadow Souls, for the $5 super. You said if she's scared of printer paper complexioned individuals, she can leave the country that's full of them. Exactly. If you're so afraid of white folks, why the hell are you here? Take your ass back to Somalia where you don't have to see white folks. You can see other people that look just like you if you're so afraid.
Yeah, no.
But you said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist. So right now, they're all getting mad because he's showing the paperwork of this business being registered as a business. 74 children, no children. We saw one child when the lady opened up the door. So now they're all getting mad.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking for the owner if you're
That's
telling me
not
to
my
talk
proof.
to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing? It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I think we're moving on to the next location. Have a good day. As we continue to show the blatant fraud that was taking place here in Minnesota, Somalis started following us around the city. And now we're being followed by the Somalis. This is another daycare center, absolutely no signage, and there's no footprints in the snow of children playing outside. $5 million.
We're struggling to pay our bills. We're struggling to feed our families. We're struggling to buy a house. Shout out to all the millennials, Gen Z. We're struggling to buy our house, our first house. But these folks can come into our country and get $5 million and have nothing to show for it. So if you ask them to give proof that they earned that money, they yell at you. They scream at you. Like, how dare you? How dare you impede on my ability to scam? That is absolutely asinine. It is insane. We need to have law and order in our country. Without it, our country will cease to exist. The American people will no longer be in control of anything. As you can see, Somalia has taken claim to Minnesota. So much to the point that they've changed the flag. I'm not from Minnesota, but this seems to be the Minnesota flag. Now let's go ahead and look at the new Minnesota flag. This is the new Minnesota flag, and it looks eerily similar to the Somali flag. The Somali flag on the left and the new flag for Minnesota on the right. This is the original. Now it looks like the Somali flag. This is a soft takeover. And we should all be worried about that because at the end of the day, we are Americans. This is America. If we allow them to, one by one, take down each state, have it be claimed by other third world countries, before you know it, America will cease to be America. It will just be a holding space for third worlders. We won't have a culture of our own because it will be a mosh posh of all the third worlders' cultures. And the same white liberals that are so sad about racism, that are so sorry for being white, understand you're going to suffer under this too. When these third worlders flood into your communities, because at some point in time, their population is going to get so large that they're not only going to be occupying the spaces of predominantly Black American neighborhoods, they're going to start to spill out into yours. Then what are you going to do?
In 2 years, 5.9 million they received in 2 years. That facility right there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now. From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center.
What the actual hell is Learning Center? And how is it quality if you can't even spell learning? What exactly is a child supposed to learn from a Learning Center?
And this fraud is here at this daycare.
Don't open up!
So this is Quality Learning Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up!
said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open up!
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up! We have ice! We have found the white guilt liberal Karen in the wild. She's yelling, don't open up, it's ice. She's yelling to try to protect the people that are stealing from her. I'm going to be honest with you, she looks poor. She does not look like she has a lot of money at her disposal. You're fighting for people to steal from you and you're poor. These people are living high off the hog while you struggle, and you're protecting them while you struggle.
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up! We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up!
and getting $4 million over
Don't
the...
open up! It's
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away!
What do you think about that? Are you in
Go
favor?
away!
Are you in favor of that?
Go away!
You know where
You're not welcome here.
Shame on you for casting a light on the fraud, but no shame for the individuals that are committing the fraud. She is defending the criminals. She is one of the people, one of many, standing in the way of justice, all for the sake of, I'm not a racist. You might not be racist, even though we know that a lot of these white knight, white savior are actually racist. That's another conversation for another day. You might not be the overt racist, but you are stupid.
$1.9 million going illegally, fraudulently to this business that has quality learning center but can't even spell learning right on the door.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, we are not ICE.
I don't care who you are, you don't belong here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up, it's ICE!
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children in here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a child daycare center.
There's 99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding. Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away? Where are the children? This is state of Minnesota. Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
They presented her with information that shows there is fraud taking place in this building. And what was her response? There is a level of psychosis that has to be happening here for you to be given evidence of fraud, and your response is, why are you here? Exposing the fraud, as we just told you we were doing. This is the problem with the white liberal. They enable crime. They enable fraud. As long as that crime and fraud is committed by a black and brown person, and then they can feel better, they can feel high and mighty, they can feel as though I'm not a racist because look, I'm sticking my neck out for the black and brown folks. All while these same black and brown folks that you're sticking your neck out for are robbing you. You're not sticking your neck out for the law-abiding black and brown folks. You're not sticking your neck out for the black and brown folks who want to work their way up, the black and brown folks who want to contribute to society. No, you're not sticking your neck out for us. You're sticking your neck out for the criminals. That makes you just as guilty. You do not get to steal from the American people. We already have enough homegrown crime here. We don't also need foreigners coming in and adding to the crime, adding to the fraud, stealing from us and sending the money back home. That's why I said this problem needs to be solved not only by getting rid of the populations that are defrauding us, but also we need to go to those countries where they are from and demand that they give us our money back. In any other situation, that's what we would do.